Welcome back to another episode of Self-Care and Chill with Maui, everybody's favorite relationship podcast. And today I'm so excited because we have a special guest. We have AJ McQueen here all the way from St. Louis.
Yeah.
And I'm so excited to have you.
Glad to be here.
So let them know a little bit about yourself because I'm going to ask questions, but to anybody that's listening, because we will drop the audio, I want you to let them know who you are.
AJ McQueen. I don't know. I'm a sojourner. You know, that's why I consider myself. I got Soul Rebel tatted on my neck, but I'm a sojourner. You know what I mean? Like I like to just. I'm just a person that's experiencing this life. You know what I mean? Because there's so many different things I could say. It's so many labels, but
right.
I've really been working on my state of being.
Okay.
So I'm just AJ McQueen.
And he's enjoying his human experience.
I am.
For the first time.
Yeah, first time.
Okay.
First time, and it's been an experience to say the least. So, you know what I mean.
Well, so I've been following you for a while, so I'm really already tapped in. But to the people that don't know about the God Body Energy or the free food program, I want you to tell them a little bit about that. Because sometimes when I'm on your page, I'm like, this is really dope.
Thank you.
A lot of the stuff I feel like everything that you do, everything that you come out with is very intentional.
Thank you.
I don't even think I ever seen you post a meme, something funny. Do AJ laugh? So I want you.
yeah.
I want you to share with them a little bit about what that represents.
Yeah. Well, I mean, starting with, like I say, I'm a writer, so everything that I do, it comes from a place of just thoughts and me expressing myself. So when you speak of God Body Energy or free food program or different ways that I different channels that I use, you know what I mean, to just. I don't know, just to put my vision out there, put my goals and different things that I want to do. It looks like that. But I in my 20s, I ain't gonna say how old I am now, but in my 20s, you know, I spent a lot of time as an activist. You know, I was an activist, a community organizer. You know, I was out there protesting, marching.
Okay.
You know what I mean? I was raised in that. You know, my grandmother and my uncle, and I was just raised around a lot of the elders, you know what I mean, that spoke a lot about our struggle,
right.
You know, as a people and what we go through. So as I grew up, as I evolved, I never grew away from, you know, those type of things. So that's why it looks like organizing, uniformity, and all those things.
Because it's already, you already are used to this type of environment.
Oh, it's embedded in me though.
Right.
You know what I mean? it's and when I go back in retrospect, from talking to my mom or just my sisters, they tell me that I've always been like that. You know, even in my youth. So, so I express and I've always been an expressionist. You know what I mean? An expressionist person. So I think somebody had asked me earlier, it was like, how long have you been doing music? And I was like, man, well, I can't think about the music part, but the writing part, I've been writing my whole life.
Right.
You know what I mean? So writing my thoughts, writing goals, vision, even if it didn't make sense to nobody else, it made sense to me. And now those writings, those visions, I'm living it.
Right.
You know what I'm saying now? So, you know, I'm a serial creator. You know?
Okay.
So I create, and again, I create from a holistic level. So that's why you see the curation of things like say God Body Weekend, free food program. I have a nonprofit organization called Writer's Block.
Okay.
Performing Arts and Literacy. Been doing that.
Is that when you you get together and perform?
Yeah. So that's my nonprofit.
Okay.
So I created that and been doing that for over 10 years. You know what I mean? Creating spaces for the community to express.
You're not new to
themselves.
this. You're true to this.
You hear me? So I've been doing it, and now that's my foundation, right?
Okay.
So, and I've been an author. I wrote my first book when I was 23. Been awarded the White House Servant Achievement Award when I was 24. And all those things, the community part I told you.
Right.
Now, 2 years ago, I said, okay, all right, let's get to the music. You know what I mean? And so now I'm focused 100% on the music.
I think that what's so admirable about what you do is the consistency. You see what I'm saying? Even though it's art, when you write, it's art. And if you do something that you love, then you never got to work a day in your life. But just off the consistency alone, can't nobody outwork you. Because when I say AJ gonna be on my timeline every day, and it's gonna be quality. He's gonna be on my timeline every day, and I'm gonna fuck with it.
Thank you. I appreciate that.
Dang, I like this song.
I appreciate that. That's me. Like I said, if you see the output of, imagine the
right
when it happens up here, that's happening every millisecond.
Right.
You know what I mean? So I believe in that. You know, before I had a team, I did every job that I asked anybody to do, I've done it myself. You know, I've been a videographer, I've been an editor, I've been a photographer. I used to my first camera was a flip shot camera, and it was the little one that had a USB drive on it. and I used to record myself. Then I used to go out. And I used to just random people hold this for me real quick.
Right.
And it's before blog, it's before Instagram. It's before that. I didn't even know this was.
Right.
I didn't know that I was creating that for myself. But
Right.
now I can go on YouTube anytime and look and pull up a video when I was 17.
How
You
did
know
that
what I'm
make you
saying?
feel? Because I know like before, like I got videos from like 2013 when I thought like I was meant to be a rapper,
Yeah.
right? It make me cringe. Like looking at some old videos of myself, do you admire how much you came or do you respect where you was there?
A little bit of both. You know what I
Okay.
mean? Like one thing I can always say, and I think Ja for is like I've always been confident.
Okay.
Always. You know what I mean? I could have, 2 pennies and a nickel in my pocket, but I never like, even to this day, I don't think people know how much money I got, because my confidence level never changes.
Right.
And it's always been like that in sports and growing up in the hood, fighting, losing some relationships, whatever. My confidence never changes. You know what I
Right.
mean? And I think that's a gift, because as a leader, as a prophet, you know what I mean, your word, the confidence in your words have to still be there. You know what I'm saying? Even if you barely believe it, even if you're doubting it yourself.
Right.
You know what I mean? And so I think that's why I've always been a person that God uses to speak to the people, whether it be through music, through writing, through protests and rallying.
Right.
Mike Brown, got killed like around the corner from my crib in St. Louis. You know what I mean? I'm not saying I was there physically, but I'm from the area. I'm from all of this. I marched for Trayvon. I marched for Sandra
Right.
Bland. I created rallies for, Tamir Rice and all that. So being able to look at that in that way and see it evolve into, like I said, God Body or Writer's Block or my music being liberation music. You know what I
Right.
mean? Soul music.
That's a good word.
Yeah.
It is liberating.
Thank you.
And even like what you said, like with the confidence for me, like I had to find my voice. Like I definitely feel like one of the therapy sessions that you got on, sorry Ma, I was distracted. You say, they ask you like, how do you view yourself looking in the mirror? And you say like, you see the little boy holding the man's hand.
Yeah.
And I feel like, because I feel like me personally, like as a child, I was silent so much, it was hard for me to find that voice.
Yeah.
And me feel like the voice had meaning.
Mm-hmm.
So to already feel like you had the confidence, when I listen to music like Writer to Writer, I'm sure a lot of other people, they do feel liberated, especially with the fact that like you're so comfortable being vulnerable. Like
Yeah.
that's one of the strongest things that you could do.
Yeah.
I'm listening to the songs, AJ done had roaches. Me too, AJ.
Rats and roaches.
I'm listening to one of the
Yep.
songs today.
Yeah.
And I'm like, AJ done
Definitely.
had roaches.
Don't mind saying it. You know what I mean?
Right.
Don't mind.
And then sometimes when we going through certain things, we feel like we the only person going through it.
Yeah.
So when you hear songs like that and it resonate, or like I've been through that too, I definitely feel like you allowed a space for us to connect with you on a different level, even if we don't know you personally.
Yeah.
Like even if a person ain't got AJ number, could DM AJ.
Yeah.
I know AJ,
Yeah.
like because you put us so much into your life and allow yourself to be so vulnerable, and I love that.
Thank you. I appreciate that. I remember the first, I had a relationship years ago, and I made a song. It's on YouTube now. I ain't gonna say it out loud because I want
Okay.
people to look it up. But it was about my ex, like an old relationship when I was like 17, 18. And at that time, that relationship impacted me. It meant a lot to me. You know what I'm saying? Weighed heavy on me. So I wrote about it and I recorded to it, to a beat. I think I stole like a Drake's beat or something. I ain't said it, but you know what I mean? I remixed a Drake beat or
Right.
something. And it's on YouTube. And when I look back in retrospect, I've always been transparent. Like I've always been a person that's not afraid to tell his truth. Now, I'm not saying everybody has agreed with my truth.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
But it's still your
throughout
truth.
my journey, especially with this album, Sorry Mom, I Was Distracted. Me and my mother had conversations like, why? Like, and then, sometimes people try to tell you how to feel, but I think it's important that on our journeys that we realize that we always trying to free other people and forgive other people, you know what I'm saying? And we suppress the way we feel and our experience and our lens and how it impacted us.
Right.
But there's liberation in that when you get to a place where you say, well, hey, this is how I feel. This is how it made me feel.
Right.
You know what I mean? And when you're speaking for yourself, you find yourself speaking for those that can't speak for themselves.
Right. And I think that's what's so important, because you said that like even like with you do talk about your mom a lot on the album. A lot of people silence themselves to protect somebody else that hurt them. Like you could have been like, I don't want to put my mom's business out there.
Yeah.
Like there's been times where like when I dropped my first book, my mom was like, this is a whole lot. But no, that's not. This was my experience.
Yeah,
Like,
yeah.
but it was so many times where I thought about not dropping it because I don't want to hurt my mom's feelings.
Yeah.
But this was my experience, and I deserve to say, like, you know what, this is what happened to me.
I remember when I was on 106 in Park, BT, and they did a teen violence special on me. And one of the first things I said in the interview with Terrence Roxy, I was like, I said my dad wasn't around. And I remember my dad saw, he cried, you know what I'm saying? And God rest his soul now. But at that time, and we had a powerful conversation, and he was like, I was there. And I was like, well, not to me.
Right.
To me, you were not, you know what I mean? And then I grew up and I became a man, and I realized I'm able to see how he felt because now I'm a man, and I see, how why he could say that, but then also, I'm still able to speak my truth. And I've always, again, not that everybody has agreed in my journey, but one thing that people respect about me is I'm going to liberate myself. I'm going to emancipate myself.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? I'm going to free myself.
Right.
And inadvertently, we freeing other people, you know what I mean, who share the same sentiments, who has the same bondage, and who is looking for liberation themselves.
So I feel like writing in general, it's been a lot of healing for you.
Oh yeah, that writing is my. If I didn't have writing, Maui, I'd probably be I don't know, you know what I'm saying, hooked on a drug or something. You know what I mean, like have some type of vice that would prevent me from being able to live the way I live. Honestly,
Right.
like.
And what do that mean to you? Like coming from, I forgot what's the neighborhood that you are
Wilson,
from.
I'm from Wilson.
Okay.
Yeah.
Coming from Wilson and like the circumstances, what do it feel like to you to be living the life that you're living right now? Because you could have been on drugs. And people would have felt like, I mean, look where he's come from. Rightfully so. It makes sense.
I think that, well, let me say this. Though my drug may not have been, you know what I'm saying, something, a outward vice that a lot of people could see, you know what I'm saying, alcohol, weed, you know what I'm saying, heroin, different things that I've seen in my upbringing. My drug of choice was love.
Okay.
You know what I mean? So I definitely had a drug. So I want to say that and be honest, you know what I mean? And I didn't realize that until therapy. Right. You know what I mean? That love was my drug for a long time. You know what I mean? So I don't want to come off like I didn't have any vices, you know what I mean? Like I would be, my leadership, it wouldn't be authentic if I did that. So my drug of choice was love, you know what I mean?
Wanting to receive it or just give it?
Both. You know what I mean? And again, it showed up in different ways in my life as well. But going through and having that type of vice versus seeing the other ones, growing up in Wilson, it's different because outside my front door, prostitution, drugs, gangs, and whatever. You know what I mean? And I had my experience with gangs, at a young age. That's what led to me getting shot and things like that. But through my childhood, teenage, adulthood, love. You know what I'm saying? Love.
And you take that, you go to therapy, and you find the root of it is your mom.
My mom the whole time. Like and I never would have thought that. You know what I'm saying? Like without doing the inner work and the root work and therapy, it's easy to, man, it's my daddy fault. Man, it's because of this. Man, it's because I grew up in the hood. Man, it's because of this. The whole time, I'm the woman I'm talking to every day. You know what I'm saying? And I love my mom. We have a great relationship, man. But that's the truth. The truth of it is, it's the lack of love, the lack of nurturing. Right. You know what I mean? It became a drug of mine because as I got older, as soon as I could make decisions on my own, which after I got shot, I got sent away at 15. So living with multiple families and all those things, I made it a quest. Right. You know what I mean? It's like, okay, I'm gonna be great at this love thing, not realizing that I'm idolizing it low key. Right. You know what I mean? So my relationship history looked wacky as hell. You know what I mean? It looked like me getting married at 19 and divorced at 21. Right. It looked like me getting engaged again at 24.
Just looking for the love.
It looked like me getting engaged again at 27.
Damn, AJ.
I know. I know. I know. It looked. That's what it looked like, right? And it looked like me raising kids that ain't mine. Mm-hmm. It looked like me wanting that, craving it so much. Mm-hmm. It looked like me not choosing myself or suppressing myself, and then creating demons because suppressing makes demons. Right. Anything that's compressed and dark, maggots grow out of that.
Right. And you said like you can't suppress something. Eventually, it's going to come out.
Right. And so I wasn't liberated. And the crazy thing is I'm out there trying to liberate everybody else.
Right.
I'm out there for the people. I'm a voice for the people. I'm emancipating everybody else but myself. And I never knew. You know what I mean? Like, I didn't look at it that way.
Like, what was the spark? What do you feel like was the spark that went off for you? Like, I gotta free myself. We three engagements in. Goddamn. Like, when is like.
You know, in all honesty, it wasn't until fairly recent though. You know, if I'm honest, you know what I'm saying? Like, it wasn't until a love that I, you know, I felt was transformative.
Okay.
That love then mirroring me back to me. It wasn't until that, it would be easy for me to say, yeah, I just, you know, no, I had an awakening probably like not too long ago, for sure, you know what I mean? And it broke me down, you know what I'm saying, as a man. And I didn't even realize, so then it took me on a journey, and that's why the album sounds like that.
Right.
You know what I mean? It took me on a whole journey, and I'm like, oh. You know what I mean? Like, I didn't even realize, I had somebody point out to me that was like, you know, you've been wearing black for years. Maui, I didn't wear color for years. For years. I knew it, but I didn't know how it looked. You know what I mean? Like, and the thing about being in yourself, which is a good thing, but also could be a hazardous thing, because you don't know how heavy you are. You don't know how heavy you can be, right? I'll give you an example. Like, you know, a person going to the gym, a person that's dealing with weight issues.
Right.
You don't know how much you weigh.
Right.
You don't know how big you are. You don't know how small you are. You don't know until something, you need a scale, you need something. Now you probably walk around here 400 pounds, but you don't feel it the way everybody will see it.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like, you just walking, you walking.
I ain't that big.
Right, but then you realize until you get into small spaces, or you get into things, you try to squeeze through something, or it's something that happens.
Right.
But then there's a period of time where you went and didn't realize it. You didn't even realize how you showing up to the world.
How did I even get this small or this big? Like, how did I even get here?
Lack of self-awareness, knowledge of self is gone.
Right.
You know, you run from mirrors, you know what I mean? Running from mirrors, running from reflective moments, you know what I mean? And then God is the biggest mirror of all time. So especially if you ain't spending time with God, you're not seeing you for real. So I can honestly say, as a man, I ran from those moments of reflecting and really being in myself and all those type of things. But not an excuse, but I'm running to something.
Right.
See,
in retrospect, you ran to yourself.
Right. So you're running. Like, it's all running. You know what I'm saying? But when you're running from something, you're running to something else. Right. You know what I mean? So while running to goals, you know what I mean, financial freedom and you know, all the things that the world tells us to show up.
Right.
Black man, show up. You need to be here this day, this time. Show up. Okay, I'm running, but I'm also running from something.
Right.
You know what I mean? And not a lot of us men are encouraged to stop running, you know what I'm saying, and sit down and deal with thyself. Right. So I've recently, and I say recent because, you know, I can get on her act like I got ultimate poise and ultimate knowledge. I don't, you know what I'm saying? But I have had an awakening within myself, and it's hit me like, it's hit me in a transformative way. You know what I mean? And that's why I believe my life is shaping. It has been shaping the way it's been since then.
Because it's beautiful watching your journey. From, like, even me watching it from afar, it's a beautiful thing to watch. The people that is finally tapping in, the people that support you, you having these things, and people that come out and show up for you. It's a beautiful thing to watch.
God. Thank you. It's been God. I think God is like, okay, I can trust you now.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like,
before you might have fumbled it. But
I definitely would have fumbled it.
I can trust you with it now.
Yeah, you know, pride, ego, you know what I mean? I would have fumbled it. But like I say, I think I speak for a lot of us men that, and I specifically say men on this part because the lack of, you know what I'm saying, as we navigate this masculine journey, this vulnerable journey, this, you know, a lot of us experience lovelessness, and that lovelessness it shapes the way we see love in general, you know what I'm saying? But it's really just like a self-love. I didn't love myself.
Right. And it was a reflective to the decisions.
To everything else. So now when I'm able to sit down and love myself and accept everything I see, everything as is, because a lot of us cannot accept as is. A lot of us ain't sat down long enough.
Right.
You know what I mean? I recall whenever I had an emotion as a child, my mama said, "You better fix it."
Right.
Right? Like I'm literally, that was how she, like, you better fix it. I can't even process how the hell I feel.
Right. I got feelings pillow upstairs if you want.
A feelings pillow, crazy.
Yeah, you just.
You better fix it.
Because some of us don't get awarded the opportunity to tap into what am I feeling.
Yeah, and keep telling a man that for 20 years.
Right.
All right, I'm gonna fix it. You know what I'm saying? I'm gonna fix it. Yeah, and that's all I've been doing. I've been fixing it. But my fixing looks like duct tape,
Right.
Gorilla Glue. You know what I mean?
Temporary fix.
All that, it's fixed. You said fix it.
Right.
I heard you, woman. I heard you, black woman. You said fix. So then that fix it goes to every relationship. You better fix it.
Right.
Okay, I'll suppress it. You better fix it. Okay, I'll lie about it. You better fix it. Okay, I'm a rob Peter to pay Paul. I'm a lie about. You know what I mean? Knowing that ain't how you supposed to fix
Right.
it. But what other way do I fix it? Especially to get your approval. That's lack of self-love, though. So it's not even me shifting it. Like even my mom's like, I forgave my mama. Like my mama experienced lovelessness too. You know what I'm saying? And a lot of us don't realize as we are growing, our parents are growing too.
Right.
This their first life too. So I'm not one of the people that just like to trauma dump on even the parents, but that's my reality.
Right.
And I think that through my music, through my writing, I know I speak a lot to, again, the black people in general, and I also try to navigate and let it be known that I am navigating this black male experience.
Right.
You know what I mean, as well as I speak to the black woman from a black male perspective. You know what I mean? A lot of my writing, I'm speaking as a black man to a black woman. I'm not necessarily trying to make music for women. Like, no, I'm definitely talking and as a black man.
You know, we know who you're talking to, AJ. So one thing I will say is like for you to be really direct, because I love me a black man. That's just like
Talk about it.
like you see what I'm saying? I love me a black man. I love that you talk about not wanting to just fix it no more, because sometimes I feel like we got so many angry black men because the only emotion that you tapped in with is anger, because you don't get spaces for you to feel sadness, for you to grieve. And like I tell some of my friends all the time, for you to be able to look at your high school picture and half of those people are dead or in jail, that's not normal. Like a lot of our black men are walking around with so much trauma, so much PTSD, and they not in tune. There's no reason why me stepping on your shoe should make you want to shoot me that fast. You angry that you can buy another sneaker. But like, what other emotions are they taught to tap into besides anger and ego?
Anger, ego, pride.
Right.
And you know, but like I say, a lot of us are now getting to that space. You know what I mean? And I definitely give praise to the Most High and praise to a lot of the black women out there that are encouraging us to go on this journey.
Right.
You know what I mean? So I know this is a space that you operate in as well. I'll be seeing your lot. You know
Sunday at 4 o'clock, your girl is in therapy. Okay.
So you know what I'm saying? Flowers to you and flowers to every other black woman that encourages us to sit down and to reflect and don't look at it as and you got that part. You also got the negative sides of it all, right? You got the women and the society that looks at us having this experienced black man as us not being our masculine self and sassy this and all types of stuff. But there's nothing I even pay attention to.
Right.
You know what I mean? But for the men that do, I even speak for those too, and just encourage us to, love ourselves, love on ourselves, and choose ourselves in spite of.
Right.
You know what I mean? Because this world wicked. You know what I mean? And I don't think that, well, not that I don't think, I know that what the world is afraid of, what the universe is afraid of is a man that knows himself and that loves himself. Because everything else, his legacy is contingent. It all hangs on his self-love, his discipline. You know what I'm saying? And every man's going to choose between two pains anyways, as unknown author said, the pain of regret or the pain of discipline.
Right.
So you got to choose a pain.
I think that a lot of, even like piggybacking off what you said, like with the whole sassy thing and the women don't even realize what they really are looking for is a man that loves himself. That's what you're looking for. That value something.
Man, my mama, I remember we used to, me and my sister used to watch wrestling. And my mama loved The Rock. I don't know what she loved The Rock so much. Ooh, that man is so fine. That man, you heard me? And I'm young, I'm like 7. I'm like, okay. I started doing push-ups. I made a wrestling belt out of using a belt, and I cut a hole in cardboard, and I put the hole in. I was a wrestler.
Okay.
You know what I mean? That was the first thing that I saw my mama say, I love it. You know what I mean? And then a man starts to go and do the things that, okay, that's what you like. So then it goes outside of that to where I'm working out, I'm doing these things, and now I'm outside of my mom with this example, by the way. But as when we look at women and what we see women like, all the things. If it's money, okay, let me get my money up. Fitness, let me get my fitness up. Let me do these things. But then we're judged off of the very thing. I literally saw you drool. I saw you say that that's what you love. We need the space to do that, do the things that you say you love. And if we're not given that space, then it's gonna look chaotic. And we're going to show up to you because we love y'all too, but we're going to show up in a very chaotic way.
Right.
You know what I mean? It is not healthy for neither one of us. You know what I mean? I'm reading this book right now by Bell Hooks, All About Love.
Okay, we got that on the bookshelf.
That book crazy.
It's so good.
I ain't gonna lie. The book is wrecking my life.
It's so good.
And it's what specifically wrecking my life is, and wrecking my life in a great way. But in order to reconstruct, you gotta deconstruct. So I've been deconstructing as a man, And it says that, well, she was referring to Enrich Form's definition of love, and she said that his definition was to nurture one's spiritual growth, and using that definition. And if a lot of us use that definition, if we come to a collective decision and just use one definition to nurture one's spiritual growth, and you ask yourself, have you ever loved somebody? Have you ever been loved?
Right.
And when I did that, it pushed back everything, and I'm like,
right. It make you feel like, damn, like am I even adding value to somebody's life? One thing that she's saying in the book is people who love you would never intentionally hurt you.
Yeah.
And then I had to sit with that. Like every relationship, getting cheated on, getting lied on, like it might have been a good experience for what it was, but you didn't love me.
Yeah.
Like I can never intentionally just hurt my kid. Like you see what I'm saying? I love you too much to intentionally. There might be times where like, oh, my bad. Like I didn't mean to do that. But to intentionally go out of my way and make a decision that I know is going to hurt you, there's no way I can love you.
Yeah,
and for me to sit with that and realize like, wow, I don't think I've ever been loved until now.
That was my experience when I read it, because I wrote a song on my album called Love Jones, and where I talked about my thank you. I talked about my two loves in my life. You know what I mean? My first love and my last love to date, and I wrote about just all that, you know what I'm saying? And when I read the book, it took me back to those loves. And, it made me really sit down with myself and say, okay, if using this definition of nurturing one's spiritual growth, have you ever loved? Have you ever been loved? And that's something I'm meditating on even now. I'm not going to get on here and say what I figured out, because I don't know yet, you know what I'm saying? But, I just wanted to be stated, you know what I'm saying, a lot of us men out here doing that type of root work, you know what I'm saying? Like, I'm not only reading that book, I saw one of my brethren, KC, reading the book in the hotel yesterday too. Like, we doing root work out here. There's a different fabric of man out here, you know what I'm saying? And we trying to figure this shit out, you know what I mean? Like, we come from where we come from. We were given what we were given. And we're doing the work, and we appreciate the encouragement and support on this journey to figure it out.
Right.
You know what I mean? A lot of us are disciplining ourselves. A lot of us are controlling our mind. A lot of us are controlling our dicks. A lot of us controlling what we say, and we practicing those things. You know what I mean? But it's not easy. I'm not finna sit here and talk with this puffed up chest like it's easy.
But your discipline is a high level form of self-love.
It is the highest form. Right. It's the highest form.
A man who can turn down something that could say no, that's the type of man a lot of women like.
And Lord Jesus.
Listen, and it's harder than them.
This more.
They throwing
you heard me, like, but it's
right.
but I know that I need this season of my life. You know what I mean? Because I don't want to repeat anything. You know what I'm saying? I don't want to repeat cycles, and I owe it to myself, and I owe it to my future kids, my future wife, what have you. Because I believe in love. Like I do. I value it. I value the idea of it. You know what I'm saying? It's something I think I'll be great at, you know what I mean, fatherhood and all those things. But I know that I have never done what I'm doing now.
Right.
And that's to discipline myself.
Can you imagine the type of love that you will experience with this version that you becoming? All the times that you thought, like, yeah, I love that girl. I've been engaged 3 times. Like, I know, like, I got a peek of what love is. Can you imagine the type of experience that you're going to have with all the stuff that you're doing right now with yourself?
Man, I don't know.
AJ the dad.
I know.
We got God Body Daycares.
You heard me? God Body Daycare. All that. I mean, it's something that I've I've written about. You know what I'm saying? It's, you know, I got a journal. You heard me? Like, you know,
Okay,
it's
you
some.
love it.
Yeah, I got a journal. Some, you know, what's crazy is a lot of my songs on my album started off as journal entries.
Okay.
It just started off as a journal entry.
And it just turned into a full-blown song.
Yeah, same was a journal entry.
I feel like that's probably what make it feel so organic.
Yeah, it started off as my inner thoughts. Cause I write crazy. I talk about everything.
Right.
I
We know. Anybody that's listening, you're putting all your business
I
out
put
there.
all my business out there, and I, you know, like I said, it's you know, a lot of people don't like it. I've been asked to stop. You know what I mean? But what they say, you fall in love with a poet, be prepared to be a part of my writing forever.
Just listen. That's the truth.
So
That's how the game go.
Don't fall in love with me.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
That's
But
how
no,
you go.
but it's not in a distasteful way. And I hope that the world sees that I've never, you know, I don't put people like, I talk about myself. I'm not out here exposing this, that.
It's
I'm
not
bashful.
bashful.
Never. That's not my heart. You know what I'm
Right.
saying? Like, that's not my heart. I don't write it to, you know, I try to actually protect, you know what I mean, the best way I can with my art, but I also got to be authentic and honest. So I balance that, and I let God, you know, notarize everything I write. So
You always got a gem to drop.
you hear me? Yeah, hey, don't get me started.
One thing I want to ask you is, like what you said, like it's a lot of black men that's out here that's doing the work. And people that listen to the podcast, they know, like I'm always talking about black men and their mental health and like them having safe spaces. How can black women support you on the type of journey that you're on? Not even just you specifically, but if they gotta, like I know I go to therapy, so does my man. He journal, like he's really tapped in. And I know for me personally, I feel like love is freedom. And a part of me loving him is him exploring whatever type of healing and journey he needs to go through right now, and just being supportive.
Yeah.
And not feeling like I need to be next to you all the time, because some stuff is only for you it's only for you. And I don't need to be hands-on in all your healing and your journey. What are you journaling about? What did you talk about in therapy? How can we show up and be giving you the space to grow and to feel what you need to feel and for you to be your best self? Because I know a lot of black women, they tired.
Yeah.
They exhausted.
Yeah.
So how can we be supportive, and how can we feel like, you know what, my man, he's trying?
Yeah. That's a great question. By the way, I don't think a lot of us get asked that a lot. So thank you for asking. Grace, you know what I'm saying? Like Grace, like, you know, I'm 34 years old. You know what I mean? I just got her. You know what I mean? So with all this stuff I'm saying,
You just got off the porch.
You heard me? With everything that people think of me, I just got her. You know what I mean? And if I could ask for anything, it would be the grace to learn how to learn how to talk over, learn how to approach things differently. You know what I'm saying? And as you said, love is freedom. You know, and love is liberation. You know, as well. And I think that the faculties that our black women have is something that we don't have.
Right.
We can get into some stuff. We can get into grace and patience and nurturing, but that's not our nature. You know, for a lot of men, that's secondary to us. You know what I mean? And a lot of us have had to do that for ourselves too. Same way women had to. You know, right? But being this question is directed to me as a man, you know, a lot of us, it's not. It's secondary to us, you know what I mean? So a woman that gives me grace, a woman that really just understanding. Like, I think that's one thing I look forward to in love, is actually understanding, because I'm a complex fraction. I'm not complicated,
Okay.
but I am complex. I got a Rubik's Cube tatted on my arm.
Okay.
Because I'm one of them.
Okay.
But any woman that'll do that and get in, boy.
Right.
You know what I mean? So it's that, and for a lot of men, it's that, because our worlds haven't been of our choosing in a lot of cases. You know what I'm saying? And I know a lot of men out there that take penitentiary chances, that go out there and do something they know they shouldn't be doing, because they feel like this is something that their woman will make their woman happy. And not saying it's their woman's fault, but I'm just saying it's a lot of men that do things for the approval of women, and it does stem back to our mother. You know what I mean? And a lot of us are just now figuring it out. A lot of us just learned about emotional equity.
Right.
I know I did. You heard me? Like, I ain't always knew, okay, emotional real estate, you know what I mean? Emotional maturity and emotional intelligence. I just got hip to that 2 years ago.
Right.
You heard me? While you have probably always had, some women, not all, right? Always had the space to sit with your feelings, whether they be crying, a time of the month, or, you know, you can birth a child that's gonna love you forever, or you know what I mean, somebody gives you the space to be a woman, manhood is a little different. Right. So it's just that space, you know what I mean? And the last thing I'll say to that is, man, a woman that can speak life, oh my God, listen, I don't care if the man, it don't seem like he listening. Every word that you say is planting, it's gone. I'm still living off of prayers of a black woman. There's words that a woman said to me years ago that I'm just now seeing.
Right.
You know what I mean? So the words that y'all say, but also equally that could be the thing that hurts us the most, though. You
right.
know what I'm saying?
Sometimes you need to hear it.
Right. But the words that y'all say, the affirmation is nothing more powerful than that. And prayer, like those things, grace, it's God attributes. You know what I mean? That's given from y'all, you know what I mean? I think that's what we can have in this time. Nobody's asking a woman to do the work for us, though. We got to do the work, and we know that. You know what I'm saying? Like, we know it. Right. It can't put off on nobody else. But as we're doing the work, just those things. And I think that I think y'all will be proud of us on the other end. So
I definitely feel like any woman that's listening right now, it might make them think about the type of, they might be in a relationship with somebody that is not ready to do the work. That don't mean that they never going to do it, but this person may not be ready.
Yeah.
But if you got a partner and they is ready, or you see them trying, I feel like everything that you said is so important for us to be able to support you on the journey.
Women say all the time, I got messages like, man, I love your writing. I love how you talk about this, and that, and that, and that. And, you know, I don't get a chance to respond to everybody, but when I do, it sounds like, you know, I just got her love. So just imagine if the people or the times that, you know, a woman has given up on me. I'm not saying she haven't had her reasons. I'm not one of them. I probably deserved it.
Okay.
But
accountability.
Yeah, for sure. I wasn't always my best self or the best version of myself at the time. You know what I mean? So, but imagine that. So now you see me, you're like, man, this is amazing, man. Well, I've been this amazing man has been in me. It's been dormant for so long, and there's a lot of men, whether it be your mate, whether it be your brethren, whether it be your dad, your uncle, somebody has a divine king inside of them. So, you know what I mean? If you like what I'm saying, go be patient with your one, you know what I mean? Be encouraging to your one, you know what I mean? And hold them accountable. I say to my brethren all the time, you know, any woman that holds you accountable is a woman that deserves to be held on to. Because accountability, a woman that will hold you accountable, that's a different type of, it's a different type of love.
Right.
You know what I mean? Sometimes it may look like her not talking to your ass no more either.
Right.
But
might look like her choosing herself.
Yeah, but it's a type of love, and it's a love that I've experienced. You know what I mean? And that's what helped in my awakening, though.
Right. It's been times where I feel like one of the best things that I could have done was hold somebody accountable. You're not showing up as your best self, and I know you could be better than this.
Yeah.
And just because you're not ready, don't mean I got to stay here and experience less than.
Yeah, and that's the truth. And like I said, it's also the way a woman talks to a man as well, because like I said, I know me, I got 4 sisters. I had 2 stepbrothers. They both got murdered when I was younger, so I didn't grow up with any men, so other than my dad, you know what I'm saying, when he was able to be in my life. But I had sisters, so the words of my first vulnerable moments were exposed by my sisters. So right. I've had I'll never forget, first time I peed in the bed, and my sister saw it, and I'm flipping the mattress off. So I ain't gonna tell nobody. The first time she got upset, you pissy ass little boy. Right. I'm like, yo, why would you even say that, right? Right. But imagine that being your first vulnerable moment, and then you're growing through life, and now the vulnerability, like. And I know that's a funny moment, but literally that was my first time being like.
Did that make you feel like I can't be vulnerable? I throw it back in my face.
Yeah, like come on, you know what I mean? And then when it was brought up in a joke, in an exposing way. And like I say, for some people that may be like, man, that's what you talking about.
I probably felt embarrassing.
Okay, well if you trace a man's, if we all talk about root work, it's so trendy now, by the way. Root work, shadow work. Okay, well that looks like
get your shadow journal.
Right, all this shadow. All right, well, if we doing root work. Root work looks like going to the first time of something. It goes to the smallest molecule of something, The smallest for me, because I dealt with, I've always had a hard time being vulnerable at times. Like I know it's not obvious, you know what I mean? But I've had that. You know, I would look my woman in the face and not say nothing about what I'm really feeling, right? Then they'd be like, why would you do that?
Right.
Well.
Or why are you saying it when you mad? Where is this coming from?
Right. Well, you know what I'm saying? And so for a lot of us, we did not have the space for that. But again, we are, and I say we because I speak for a lot of men that are on that journey. You know what I'm saying? And we draw the distinction between the niggas that ain't shit. You know, so hopefully I can say niggas and shit on her. I can do that? Okay,
I'll be
cool.
cursing on here.
Oh, okay, yeah. So we drew a distinction between the niggas that ain't shit that need to become shit.
Okay.
Right? You know, but then there's a different man out here that's literally focusing on their deen. You know what I'm saying? Deen and you know, Islam being your discipline and your practice. So we on our deen out here. So that's a difference. We don't want to be grouped up with them niggas.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So let me just say that. You know what I'm saying? Like, hold on.
Ungroup them. Ungroup me,
niggas
please.
ain't shit. Well,
ungroup me.
I'm niggas. You know, so
right.
I just want to know that you see me, though.
Right.
I just want to know that you see the difference. Do you see the difference? Okay, cool. We good. But if I'm all grouped up in the same thing, then I think that you're gonna have a hard time seeing. Right. You know what I'm saying? That and it's unfortunate that when we scroll through our timelines, that the sacredness of love and relationships and journey and vulnerability is now marketed for clicks and comments and likes and insights. You know what I mean?
I know everything that he did for you this week because everything is content for you. Like
yeah.
as far as like.
Yeah, no. I'm not a fan of it.
Right. Everything is a click. Everything is a like.
Yeah. So it's scary out here. I'm gonna be real. You know what I mean? So I tell my brethren, I say, man, look, find a woman. When you find, after you find yourself, after you find God, you find yourself. Find you a woman, in that order. Mm-hmm. Find you a woman. Find you something real. Somebody that you know you can evolve with and grow with. You know what I'm saying? Because everything AI, lab grown, damn filtered, edited. I don't even know what if we having a real moment right now. But when you find your God, you find yourself, and you find your woman in that order, your spirit will then guide you and give you the confirmation and all the spiritual things. You know.
I love that. With the podcast being called Self-Care and Chill, because you left us with so many gems today. If it's one thing that you could leave, and this, you know, this episode, I wanted to, even though you spoke to the black women, like it is a lot of black men that's tapped in. If you could leave them with one piece of advice when it comes to loving yourself, what would be the advice that you left them with?
You know, we've been encouraged to be passionate about our life as men, passionate about sports. That's why a lot of us love sports, because we can put our passion as an emotion, right? So it ain't that we've not had emotions, that they've been displaced. But we've been passionate a whole lot. Sports, you know, this is that. In the hood, there's passion there. You know what I mean?
Misplaced.
Yeah. So we have to replace our passion. But in order to do that, we have to practice dispassion. So I encourage us at times to step back from everything. Fast, retain, step back from everything. For a period, you heard me? Step back, practice dispassion, lay it all out, come back to it organically. Because we've been forced with it. Our world has been shaped around these things. So you don't even know what you really like. You know, as men, we living out of suitcases that somebody else packed for us. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? So you haven't even unpacked. You never unpack. Right. You know what I mean? You never practice dispassion. So step back from all of it. Don't meet a goal. Don't meet nothing. Don't meet anything. And then slowly let yourself come to the things and let them draw to you as you draw to them. And then put your passion back in it. And I think that that's a beautiful, beautiful thing. Retain, control your dick. You know what I'm saying? Control your mind. You know, step back from it all. If the things you can step back to. And I'm not saying go quit your job. They just said just don't go to work. I never said that. Right. But work on yourself. Right. You know what I'm saying as well. You know what I mean? Step back from everything and reapproach it. And I see how your spirit feel. Right. You know what I mean? And that's what I've done. And all the things that the fruit of the fruit that's coming from the tree now is a result of it. So
I love that. AJ, I want to thank you so much for coming on the podcast with us today.
Glad to be here.
Thank you for coming here and self-care and chilling.
Thank you. I'm glad to be here.